Wakanda secrets Marvel is keeping from you. Fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe have been waiting patiently as possible Phase 4 kicks off. Fortunately, the wait is nearly over and we're about to embark on new adventures. With that being said, there are definitely mysteries that still need solving. That's why we're covering the Wakanda secrets Marvel has been keeping from you. Wonder what those secrets are? Everybody hates secrets. Keep watching to find out. What we know about Wakanda. Before we can dive into the secrets of Wakanda, we first need to cover what is already known about this Marvel-based country. We first learned about Wakanda long ago during 2010's Iron Man 2 via visual Easter egg. However, fans got even more insight into Wakanda in 2015 Avengers Age of Ultron as a brief mention. It wasn't until 2016's Captain America Civil War that we finally saw Wakanda begin to step into the spotlight. But this was also the time we saw Black Panther, played by Chadwick Boseman, make his debut.
Wakanda forever!
We learned that Wakanda has kept their nation a secret from the outside world. This turned out to be for good reason, since the main source of their wealth and technology was thanks to an extremely precious Wakandan metal known as vibranium, which we'll talk more about later. This material was stolen during the Ultron plot, which is what led to Wakanda performing what can be considered an outreach mission. It certainly didn't help that Scarlet Witch most likely blew up the Wakandan missionaries when trying to contain a completely separate threat. The best thing about Wakanda for the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the sheer success the first Black Panther movie ended up becoming. This movie made a huge impact thanks to its portrayal of the African-American community and overall heritage. This movie ended up becoming a cultural phenomenon, which was evidenced by the saying and salute, "Wakanda Forever." As such, it only makes sense that we'll be visiting more of Wakanda in the near future. As such, we must turn our focus to Black Panther 2. It seems like a foregone conclusion. This entry will just be as successful, if not even more so, than the first Black Panther. Where the opportunity lies is in the exploring of the Wakandan secrets that Marvel is keeping from everyone. It's these secrets that will inform the most likely direction the next movie will go. Plus, it's likely to inform how the MCU will shape up going forward. The vibranium factor. We can't begin to discuss the secrets of Wakanda without first discussing vibranium. This well-known strain of metal has a rich history in the comics and is set to become an important focus now that Wakanda has revealed itself. So what exactly makes vibranium so amazing? After all, there are other metals out there. The answer lies in what this metal can actually do. This metal is known to absorb different vibrations, including sound. We saw evidence of that with Black Panther releasing that stored energy as explosive waves. Wakanda has had a long time to perfect its use of vibranium since it was discovered centuries ago. The properties of vibranium is why Wakanda hid in the first place. They desired to protect this resource from the outside world. Of course, money was still needed, which is why T'Challa worked to expand the economy of Wakanda by selling off small amounts of vibranium to other parties. After watching Black Panther, there is no doubt regarding how technologically advanced the nation has become. With their introduction to the world done, this not only makes them a world power, but also a potential target for other countries who might desire said resource. The good news is that it will help the country become even more modernized. The problem is twofold. Others will want access to this material. Only the Wakandans have what can be considered a full understanding of vibranium. There will be conflicts that arise over this resource.
You're recording?
For research purposes.
More importantly, with most knowledge being hoarded by Marvel Studios, the full impact of this metal is yet to be known. We've seen in the comics that it can resist Thor's hammer and Thanos' double blade to a large degree, even as just a vibranium alloy. That's a lot of power that is theoretically more accessible than any other form. Maybe the big secret lies in just how that power will be realized in the future. The answers most likely start in Black Panther 2. Panther gods are coming. There's a line said by T'Challa that explains a lot about their culture without really revealing anything. The line is, "In my culture, death is not the end. It's more of a stepping off point. You reach out with both hands. And Bast and Sekhmet, they'll lead you into the green veld where you can run forever." This is actually very important for a couple of reasons. For starters, we already met a lot of gods in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, this is one of the first mentions of a deity that has had a direct role with members of the human race for any length of time. Remember, beings like Thor and Loki have only recently joined the action, at least in the MCU anyway. Could this quote be a clue that we'll meet Bast, the Panther god? This being is the key to the real power behind the Black Panther mantle, and could lead to some interesting storyline. storylines. This is really possible when you consider that Marvel Studios is going more mystical with Doctor Strange anyways. Some storylines from the comics that could make their way into future MCU movies, including the storyline of Mephisto, where Mephisto attempted to buy Black Panther's soul in exchange for the lives of the people of Wakanda. T'Challa agreed, but tricked him by taking him to Bastion's realm, where the souls of the former Black Panthers resided. However, the real benefit of bringing Bastion lies in the fight for the right to rule. In the comics, he married Storm. For more about how the X-Men are joining the MCU, check out up next other video. Storm wasn't accepted at first until Bass stepped in. Also, Shuri desired to rule, but was rejected due to being seen as arrogant and jealous. Quite frankly, there are some amazing dynamics we could explore with this idea, so hopefully this is one secret set to be revealed soon. Time will tell how likely this ends up becoming. Importance of White Wolf. There was a throwaway part during Black Panther's final post-credit scene. It showed Bucky Barnes alive and well in Wakanda after being put into a frozen deep freeze at the end of Captain America Civil War. Well, pretty much expected this to happen since Bucky was featured in the trailer for Avengers Infinity War. However, it's the additional information that seems to hint towards a certain future fans may not have realized just yet for Bucky. We found out that Bucky is referred to as the White Wolf, which is a name given to an outsider stranded in Wakanda. In the comics, White Wolf is a name given to T'Challa's adopted brother, whose real name is Hunter. Hunter ended up in Wakanda after a plane he and his family were on crash-landed in the country. His parents were killed, so T'Challa adopted him. He later became the leader of Wakanda's secret police force. While this seems unrelated on the surface, it looks like Marvel Studios may be folding Hunter's role into Bucky. Currently, we know that Bucky is hanging out with Sam Wilson, but that doesn't mean he won't be making a return appearance in Wakanda. We know that Bucky and Sam don't really get along, but they need each other at the moment. What happens when that need is no longer relevant? We can assume that Bucky was comfortable in Wakanda and may return to seek purpose by coming back. In doing so, we may get to see him as the White Wolf who helps guard T'Challa. This would give him purpose and a new identity he can better live with. Sanctum Connection. In Black Panther, we saw the moment when Killmonger crushed T'Challa in ritual battle and was recognized as the new king of Wakanda. After all, the villain went to the authority room and, while dealing with the other officers, he declared his plans to allies and Wakandan secret operatives that have been inserted throughout the world. During the scene, he mentioned the operatives who were in New York, London, and Hong Kong to send the vibranium weapons. At first, this doesn't seem to be a big deal beyond the obvious. However, these cities stand out for a very good reason. These cities just also happen to be the locations of the three sanctums Doctor Strange and his allies command. We saw a lot of New York sanctum during Doctor Strange and even saw a little more during Thor Ragnarok the movie. So we know just how active these sanctums really are. As such, it makes sense that Marvel Studios may be keeping a secret from its fans, and it all centers on Wakanda and their interactions with the sanctums. Wondering why exactly? It implies that Wakanda is aware of and has been keeping tabs on the magic users all along. We must remember that vibranium has mystical powers, but in both Killmonger and Black Panther already know a lot more than we would have thought in the first place. With Doctor Strange exploring the multiverse and Black Panther stepping forward after the first movie, we may see the fallout of such tabs on magic. There's already one extremely well-known magic user that fans want to see, and he factors heavily into Wakanda. That person is none other than supervillain Doctor Doom. Could it be that Wakanda has already prepared to have magic battles? This scene in Black Panther may just be a hint of what we needed all along. It may be another battleground. If there's one thing we know will feature heavily in Phase 4 and possibly after, it's the Skrulls. Everything seems to be gearing towards the infamous Skrull invasion. After all, we've already seen them starting to impersonate important people such as Fury and Agent Hill. We have no clue if they've been already impersonating others. More importantly, what if they've been impersonating some of our heroes this whole time? Honestly, this would explain a lot about the Skrulls and certain events that have happened at this point. Did you know, in the comics, the Skrulls also made a play for vibranium during the Secret Invasion. During this event, they had taken over the identity of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and enslaved natives of the Savage Land to mine antimetal, which is a derivative of the classic vibranium. During this time, they also attempted to invade Wakanda, which proved to be unsuccessful with the Wakandans defending their home. We already saw how Wakanda was an important battleground during Infinity War. Are we in store for another large battle in near future with Wakanda being the site of the action? If so, it would only serve to reinforce Wakanda as a world power. Final thoughts. There's no denying we have a lot to learn about Wakanda going forward. For sure, vibranium will play a part in things. However, we really see the Panther God making an appearance and fans learning even more about the origins of Wakanda. That's a lot of potential, but time will tell if we're right. As of now, it remains to be seen how the rest of Phase 4 plays out. There's new villains to explore, as well as new heroes over the next round of movies, and of course, the introduction of new shows on Disney+. However, we may just see some of our old favorites when we least expect it. For now, stay tuned, and we'll return soon with new theories, news, reports, and more in another Up Next installment.